So this is the Michigan governor's summer residence. After we get up the hill, we're going to turn right and we're going to go to Fort Mackinac. I'm going to leave you in real time here. Try not to get hit by a horse. And Fort Mackinac is not very far up here, just up one hill.
Straight down, take a left, save yourself some time. Show that you
That's really the last big hill to get up, that one there, and then it should be pretty flat in the interior. So here is the entrance to Fort Mackinac. It's open from 9:30 to 6. I'm wearing my GoPro on my head, so hopefully you're getting a good view of this. But here is the entrance to Fort Mackinac. And there's bike racks, you can park your bike. We're going to continue up just a little bit to the Somewhere in Time Gazebo. And it looks like there might be a wedding going on back here, so we may just get to see where it's at. I don't think we're going to have time to get out and actually look at it. So those are the first 3 stops in the interior. They're all pretty quick. So what we're going to do now is we're going to turn right and we're going to head deeper into the interior. Now always make sure you look for horses. Now we're going to come up on this, I guess you could almost call it a roundabout. So there's 2 ways to get to Arch Rock. You could take the road, which is to the right, or you can take the botanical trail. We're going to take the botanical trail. So we're now here at Arch Rock. You can see it's still pretty crowded. I was up here earlier in the day and there were quite a few people, so we're not going to go up to the platform. The best time to visit Arch Rock is before 9 a.m. or after 5 p.m. as the carriage tours will not be here anymore. You can see there's 2 carriage tours getting ready to depart. There are restrooms up here at Arch Rock, and heading back, we're going to take the road this time. We're going to head right back to that kind of roundabout. There'll be a little bit of uphill, but it won't be too bad. So let's go ahead and speed this up. Okay, so we're back where we started. The reason I backtracked here was there's more hills if you go the other way. And this road's going to take us to pretty much everywhere we want to go. It's going to take us to Skull Cave, the cemeteries, Point Lookout, Fort Holmes, and then eventually down to British Landing. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I'll speed it up here in a moment.
And there's people
This is Garrison Road. And there's going to be one little hill up here and then it's going to flatten out. So I'm going to go ahead and speed it up. So this is Skull Cave. It gets its name because one of the explorers was tired looking for a place to sleep. He crawled into the cave thinking he was laying on a bed of sticks and possibly some rocks. He woke up the next morning to realize it was bones and skulls, hence the name Skull Cave. So we're going to head up here now to Fort Holmes and Point Lookout, as well as the cemeteries. So this is St. Anne's Cemetery, and you'll notice that there's a gate and then there's a road going around the gate. That's because the architect that created the gate asked for the exact height of the horse-drawn hearse, and he made the gate so the hearse would fit through no problem, but he did not take into consideration that there would be a driver sitting on top of it. So I'm just going to ride through St. Anne's real quick. You'll see we have to go around the gate. St. Anne's is the cemetery where you're going to see a lot of Common names for Mackinac Island, you'll see lots of Dowds, Murrays. This is one of the places where local people on the island are buried after they die. This is one of 3 cemeteries on Mackinac Island. We're going to come up to the next 2 pretty quickly. So you'll notice once again, another gate here, same size, same problem, that there's no way to get the horse-drawn hearse through here with somebody driving it. So after exiting the St. Anne's Cemetery here, we're going to ride up a very small hill, and we're going to come up to the other 2 cemeteries here on Mackinac Island. The cemetery directly in front of us, when we get up to the next road, is going to be the Mackinac Island Cemetery, another cemetery where islanders or people that have spent a lot of their life on the island are buried. And when we turn right, we're going to go up to the most unique cemetery on Mackinac Island. That's the Post Cemetery. Now, the Post Cemetery is the final resting place of American soldiers who were stationed at Fort Mackinac. They were originally buried in graves that were marked with wooden crosses. The crosses eventually became so decayed and so hard to read that they were replaced with more modern stone tombstones, but unfortunately they couldn't make out the names of the soldiers. So the majority of these are marked U.S. soldier or unknown U.S. soldier, and because of that, the flag constantly flies at half-staff. It's one of the handful of places in the United States where that's true. So this is the Post Cemetery for Fort Mackinac, and it is the final resting place of upwards of maybe 60 to 100 soldiers that were stationed at Fort Mackinac. This is one of the staircases that leads up to Fort Holmes and Point Lookout. You'll only want to go up the staircase once. When you get up there, it's easy to see both viewing points. Fort Holmes is the highest point on the island. Point Lookout gives you a beautiful view of the Mackinac Island Sugarloaf. Once again, you can see both sites by only climbing the stairs once. So don't go to the other set of stairs because it takes you to the same place. We're going to head upwards. We're going to backtrack a little bit, actually, and we're going to stop at the Mackinac Island Sugarloaf. We're going to see it from down below, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and speed you up. So this is the Mackinac Island Sugarloaf. Indigenous American legend has it that this is a petrified man who did not listen to the Great Spirit and was punished. If you find the right angle, it does look a little bit like a face. At the Sugarloaf, you can walk around, see it from all different angles. And if you haven't already been up to Point Lookout, there are stairs over here that will take you back up to Fort Holmes and Point Lookout. If you went up the stairs earlier, I highly recommend not coming down the stairs over here because it'll be quite a walk to get back to your bike. Now, if you were walking, by all means, you can come down here to get a good view of the Sugarloaf. Okay, so we got 2 stops left. We're gonna go to Great Turtle Park and probably ride through the inland town of Harrisonville. And then we're also going to stop at the Mackinac Island Airport before my favorite part of the ride, which is the 2.5 miles of non-stop downhill to British Landing. So from St. Anne's, it's really easy to get to Great Turtle Park. We're going to ride through St. Anne's here. Right up here on the left, there's going to be a pathway that's going to take us to Great Turtle Park. So if we go through here, this should take us all the way back to Great Turtle Park. It's pretty quick, so I'm going to go ahead and leave it on here. So this is Great Turtle Park. It has a soccer field, baseball fields, a basketball court, an area for skateboarding. We're going to go around the caution tape. I'm not sure why it's up. It wasn't up yesterday. There's also public restrooms here, so if you're in the interior of the island and you're looking for a bathroom, there's nice bathrooms here at Great Turtle Park. There's a fire pit, but to use the fire pit you need to get permission from the village of Mackinac Island, as well as I believe the state park. Okay, so this is Great Turtle Park. I'm going to stop and rest here for a couple minutes, and then we'll head up to the airport and then down to British Landing. Okay, so we're leaving Great Turtle Park. We're right up here next to the restrooms. There's a trail behind the restrooms that's going to lead us to Harrisonville, which is the interior of the island, where the year-round islanders live. They have a name for people like us who are visitors. They call us fudgies. So when you're up here, try not to act like a fudgie. Try to blend in and look like a local. Of course, says the guy wearing the GoPro on his head while he's riding his bike. So we're now coming into Harrisonville. You'll see that Harrisonville looks like many suburban towns. It's got houses, they have yards, and this is where many of the locals live. So I'm going to speed you up going through Harrisonville, and then we'll end up at our next stop, Mackinac Island Airport. So this is Mackinac Island Airport, served by general aviation charters, including Great Lakes Air, which will charter you from St. Ignace for $35 each way. You do have to have 2 people for them to use that $35 fare. Otherwise, you have to pay $70 each way if you're a single person. Sometimes you can see planes coming in and landing. Doesn't look like we're going to see any today. When you do come into Mackinac Island Airport, you will need to hail a taxi pulled by horses. Does not look like there's any planes that are set to take off, and I don't hear any coming in to land. What you will see is a bright yellow plane. That plane is typically the Great Lakes Air charter plane that comes from St. Ignace Airport. I believe it takes 8 to 10 minutes or so. I've never done the flight. I'd like to, but you can't bring your bike, or if you can, I know it's a lot more difficult. So we're now going to do my favorite part, which is the straight downhill to British Landing. So to get there, we're going to exit the airport. When we exit the airport, we're going to turn left. There'll be one little hill that we have to climb up. And once we get up that little hill, we will continue straight until we get to British Landing Road. Then we will turn left. And from there, it's basically only having to pedal one time. You can almost coast the entire thing, but there's going to be one small hill that you may have to pedal a couple times. So I'm going to go ahead and speed you up, and I'll see you again when we get to British Landing Road. Okay, so we're coming up here on British Landing Road. Now, it's 1.5 miles of straight downhill. Before you head down the hill though, make sure that you've seen everything that you'd like to see. So we're going to turn left. I'm going to speed you up, and I bet I'll only have to pedal maybe for 15 seconds total. There's one steep spot where we have to go up a hill. So this is British Landing Road. It'll take us all the way down to State Highway 185. And that right there is about the most fun ride you can have on all of Mackinac Island. It's straight downhill for almost 2 miles. Here we are now at British Landing. There's food on your left. There are restrooms on your right. British Landing is where the British arrived for a sneak attack on Fort Mackinac and took it without firing a single shot. So, because of construction, we can only turn left. It's 2.5 miles back into town. I'll see you when we get back into town. Now you can see we're right back where we started, back at Fort Street. This is my favorite place to lock up my bike. There's plenty of bike racks here. I always do lock up my bike. You'll see a lot of people don't, but I'd hate for it to get stolen. It only takes a minute to lock it up. So that's the interior tour. I'm gonna go get some dinner and then I gotta catch a ferry boat home. This is Buzz from Buzzin' Around the World. I hope you enjoyed it.